PTSC had called us to a meeting. There was an issue in terms of asbestos in the PTSC in which the workers took a position. Because the workers took a position, it forced the corporation to hire a company called Green Engineering to do some studies as to whether or not asbestos is in the PTSC. And this is the report from the Green Engineering, a thick document in which they found many things. And the unions, PSA, myself, and our workers were invited to that meeting. And some of the findings were very frightening in terms of the conditions in which the workers were working on, unaware of the dangers that existed. Out of 13 areas, they found that about 7 of those areas where could have had certain disturbances. And they pointed out in their document that the management have a right to ensure that workers work in a safe environment. Having heard all of this, right, in their report, one would have thought that the corporation would have taken steps to correct the situation. What the corporation has done is to call in Kariri to test the air, to see if there is any, if the air is pure, or if the air is clean, or whether there is anything in the air that will prevent the workers from working. The union, that makes the union a bit concerned and appalled, because the issue is not about the air. Kariri could come in right in TIWU today and get air that is pure and clean, and tomorrow they could come and there could be some contamination. So if the report from Green Engineering said there is a high level of disturbance in the maintenance central shop area, what we felt that the corporation would have done is to take steps to correct that, because they are responsible. One, they are now saying to the workers, based on the Kariri report about the air, that the workers will be going back out to work in the same, under the same conditions, right, that exist. Nothing has been repaired, nothing has done, nothing has sealed off. The report from Green Engineering states that the corporation have to label the areas that has asbestos. They need to block off the areas that has asbestos. As it stands right now, there are still the areas that are exposed, where you're seeing these things exposed to the public eye. If a piece of asbestos is disturbed, right, a worker could innocently pick it up to throw it in the dustbin. The fibers from the asbestos is the dangerous thing. That is the thing that cause lung cancer, mesothelioma, have it right? Yeah, mesothelioma. And these are diseases that could cause death. And one have to wonder what it is the PTSC thinking. If the management is thinking about the safety of the workers and the health of the workers, or just to get them back in the environment so that things could be done. Now, the workers, let me make it abundantly clear. The workers had spoken with the company, and we had agreed that the workers will operate from a safe place that was on the Beetham VIMCOTT. So the buses are running, so it's not that the workers shut down or anything like that. But the refusal to go up into the garage area is because nothing has been done to remedy the situation with the asbestos, and the issue is not about the air. The issue is not about the air they breathe. You could breathe the air today, and Kariri could come tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and find the air contaminated if a piece of asbestos fall down and it's been disturbed, because it carries fibers, very minute fibers, and once that gets in contact with you, maybe 10 years, 12 years from now, you suffering from cancer, you may have left PTSD, right? And I would like to bring this to an end. And the only way to bring this thing to an end is to ensure that the workers are working in a safe environment. And therefore, they have to do what they spend all this money to give to Green Engineering to do. Label off the areas that has asbestos, cover the areas and protect it from exposure, and remove the asbestos that is not necessary. The long-term thing will be better to remove the asbestos. And once that is done, then we feel free that the workers could go up into the area and work. What is more disturbing, and I think I need the television people to understand this, the media, right? While the corporation were removing the workers from the maintenance department and allowing them to work at the Beetham because of the same health and safety issues that we raised, the deputy general manager of operations, they had a training session with 13 young people, training them in maintenance, mechanic, and kept them in that area for the 3 to 4 days that the workers were out. So I am in the process of getting all of those trainees' names, right? And I'm probably speaking to the family in case of any danger or any illness, because it is insensitive that you will remove your employees, send them in a safe place to operate, but you kept the trainees because they train to be mechanics and they probably they have no say. They can't just get up and say let them walk out of the area, and you kept them there up to this day. They're still there. So all that turmoil and concern that were raised by the union, the deputy general manager, they totally ignored that and kept those trainees inside there. That is the height of insensitivity, right? Well, the workers are working, The workers are working. The drivers are working. We are working up from the VIMCOTT area on the Beetham, right? If the corporation does not see fit to address the situation as fast as possible, then the workers who down in Portsmouth in the maintenance area, right, we will have to protect them. We will have to protect them by not allowing them to go in there until this thing is corrected. I am saying it's not a strike, but we will just comply with the OSH Act. That is what we will do, in the strictest form. This dangerous situation has been going on for almost 10 days, and we're saying to the corporation, correct this thing as soon as possible. Now, we could have let the drivers and them walk off the work and refuse to work. We spoke with the corporation and said, no, we want the buses running. And if you listen to some of the news, the union was saying, no, despite that, we want the buses running. Get a safe place so that we could operate from. And they did find VIMCOTT, right? And so therefore, there is no disruption in the bus service. But if you continue, right, to ignore the union request and you continue to ignore the OSH compliance, then we will be left with no choice but to the ones who now operating from the maintenance area to call them out and tell them protect yourself according to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago.